Welcome back, everybody, for another lesson of Virtual Warfare, text-based roleplay fighting tutorial series. And today's video, we're going to be learning about the metaphysical section of Virtual Warfare. So we already passed the basic, the advanced, the quantum, and now we're on the metaphysical part of Virtual Warfare. We have one more level to go, which is the Metaphysical level. So that's going to be later on in the future, maybe sometime in the future, way in the future. But this is the metaphysical section. As stated in one of my other videos, Virtual Warfare is based on different levels of power or levels of potential. As you can see, the metaphysical section is about manipulating spiritual energies, whereas the basics was about manipulating the elements straight from the source, like you would see in Avatar and stuff like that. The advanced section was manipulating elements through the compounds of molecules and atoms, as you would see in like certain shows like Full Metal Alchemist, combining certain compounds to make one particular substance or matter. The quantum section was about manipulating energy straight from electromagnetic energy, being able to filter out certain surges of energy to manipulate elements and manipulate any type of matter or mass to bring together a new substance or a new type of matter or something. And as you can see, the next one is the metaphysical level, which is the spiritual parts. Right after the physical world is the spiritual world, and the next one would be the Metaphysical one. And if anybody can guess what the Metaphysical level would be, or the Metaphysical section would be about, write down in the comments, and whoever gets it right, I guess can get a shout out or might get a prize or whatever the case may be. And without further ado, let's go! Now that one has mastered the understanding of quantum mechanics, the understanding of manipulating the laws of metaphysics will be taught in this section. In short, the energies of metaphysics are unbound by the physical forces. These energies is what I call, and this is what I call because I had an argument about this before. That's, if you see one of my videos, we had arguments, so I don't need to explain. But these energies are known as what I call sub-electromagnetic energy or sublime energies, which are the energies that make up the algorithms of thoughts, emotions, and other unseen forces. In other words, powers and abilities consisting of chi, chakra, magic, divination, etc. are known to be called metaphysical energies. Since metaphysical energies don't follow the same laws of the physical world, like they're not bound by the same principles or the same limitations, building a step-by-step method of understanding will only be organized through a biased perception. However, in order to manipulate the forces of the metaphysical world, the process undergone through a physical sense must be initiated to project, manifest, and carry them out. In other words, to manipulate the essence of thoughts and emotions, one must still undergo the process of focusing, channeling, projecting, etc. to successfully manipulate metaphysical forces. So, Virtual Warfare will be teaching different uses and strategies of manipulating these metaphysical forces through the basis that enables the physical world to exist, so because the physical world exists, there's a spiritual double that also exists, so because of this spiritual double or the spiritual world, the physical world also exists too. So the first one we're going to be looking at is using thoughts and emotions as power. We often use chi and chakra as power, but we can also use thoughts and emotions. Come to think about it, we use thoughts and emotions as power in real life. We might think about something that gives us strength or motivation, or feel something that that makes us angry, just give us a lot of strength. This also happens in reality too. So it will also happen in roleplay. So I'm just going to just pretty much read what I wrote, and we can just continue from there. As electromagnetic energy is physical, sub-electromagnetic energy is metaphysical. Sub-EM is the energies of thoughts and emotions, which are able to be manipulated to present the same feats chakra, chi, and magic does. Thoughts and emotions are what make up the energies of someone's chi, chakra, or etc. Think about thoughts and emotions as water itself, and the manifestations of chi and chakra surges as the water currents, and electromagnetic energy being the water vorticles that creates when water splash and do whatever it wants to do. This denotes that everything is indeed connected. Humans, plants, animals, worlds, universes, all of existence. And not just the physical parts, but also the invisible parts, the metaphysical parts of the universe are also connected. A lot of people manipulate the metaphysical world through chi, chakra, etc. But such powers can also be manipulated through thoughts and emotions. It may seem strange to try and attempt to project a ball of thoughts and emotions towards someone, as women usually project the metaphysical energy in chi or chakra form. But one can also orchestrate their thoughts and emotions to create and manipulate surges of chi and chakra for attack and defenses. Again, it may seem strange to do so, but this is because the vast majority of role players, or should I say, the roleplay fighting system, do not cultivate guidelines that allow the natural flow of creativity to be established in a fair and logical way. In other words, many systems are treated as games without concrete systems. These games are filled with bugs, loopholes, and asset flipping scenarios governed by man-made rules, which keep the expression of creativity from being exercised freely and fairly. However, when structuring the concept of using thoughts and emotions as powers in a systematic way, the user is able to manipulate the forces by providing a step-by-step process from beginning to end of the emanation. Everything starts, proceeds, and ends with the mind or conscious. From a single point, everything expands outwards. This is called dyad. Things like beginning and end, start to finish, hot and cold, heaven and hell, and so on. However, because of this expansion, a third dimension is created, that which is in between. This relationship is called a triad. Triads are interrelational parts of a whole. In other words, they are separate and different, but parts of the same immutable whole. For example, mind, body, and soul, mass, matter, ether, here, there, in between, and my personal favorite, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And also knowing who you are, being who you are, and experiencing who you are. Through this analogy, people are able to manipulate the metaphysical through thoughts and emotions to influence the physical world around them. This can be as complex as using the sub-electromagnetic surges of emotion, supernaturally using the energy directly from the source, or as simple as attempting to induce fear into someone with a phrase, expression, or just a simple action. The thoughts and emotions will be the water itself. The chi and chakra that it creates will be the water currents, and the physical effects that it has on the outside world would just be as water would have with anything else. Wetting things, refreshing things, cleaning things, things like that. But relative to thoughts and emotions, as some metaphysical practitioners use this type of understanding to heal, cleanse, and strengthen the body through the use of Reiki-type practices. This video, however, may be a little chopped up and unorganized because I'm kind of rushing on things, and it's a lot of things that I'm working on that's really important. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to neglect the content of this video. It's just that some of the content that I want to put in this video, I can't, and I will get more into detail with that later in the future, later in the video. The next metaphysical training, I guess you could say, would be causing mental and spiritual damages with the idea of using thoughts and emotions for attacks. So now that you can know how to, you would get to know how. Now that you would get to know how to use thoughts and emotions to attack with, now you would get to understand what type of mental and spiritual damages you are allowed to do and how you are allowed to do them. As forementioned, one is able to use the powers and thoughts and emotions to manipulate the metaphysical essence such as chi, chakra, etc. as such influences directly affect those essence. This will result in the same concept as using spells, enchanted substances, or chakra manipulating techniques to cause some type of significant sickness, discomfort, or psychological disorder within the victim. Chi, particular chakra methods, and certain types of magic all can cause mental and spiritual damages if projected correctly, just as the contrary can be used for healing. The results can be as common or natural as an everyday cold, or rare and supernatural as a rapid flesh-eating bacteria to eat away the life force of a person. However, this is virtual warfare. Remember, it was said in my video based on different worlds that New World is about explaining the process of your abilities. Because today's generation of roleplay fighting is mostly built upon a mixture of different types of methods and gameplays organized to give people a more successful win with prepping attacks, using abilities that says I can do this every 2 turns and every 2 posts this happens, using interruptions that allow you to interrupt the post before, or interrupt the character before they even get to do anything, and even meta strategies as a means to nitpick to gain the upper hand, nitpicking things that don't need to be touched, it's just people use these scenarios and concepts and mash this all together into one whole understanding of how roleplay fighting is supposed to be, and that's far from exactly what roleplay fighting is supposed to be. That's far from roleplay fighting. This is why the abilities that do allow some type of control over their opponent's character, such as blood manipulations and magnetic manipulations, or even some that allow more freedom to control your own character, such as moving in Mach 5, or running around, flying, whatever you want to do. Anything that exceeds the basic limitations that's out right now. These things are simply banned. And this is why there are limitations built on limitations to avoid the concept or scenarios of being overpowered or being God mode. But this is done as a means to control the unorganized and inconsistent system of roleplay fighting. And the main way people attempt to control this is by using ego and using fallacious arguments to try to support what they want to say is true. Because of this mashup of different types of concepts, this is why there's so many arguments about roleplay fighting. This is why there is no government over roleplay fighting, because there's so many different types of gameplay mashed in one system. And if you look at the consistency of this gameplay, you will see that it's inconsistent, but no one has the passion, or no one has the humility, or no one just has the care to say something's wrong with that. Let's fix that. No one wants to do that. People just want to run around, get bragging rights over their win and call it a day. And this is not roleplay fighting at all. And there are many ways to roleplay fight, but unfortunately, this is the way that's most popular. Through virtual warfare, because the main implementation is time and effort, all abilities are possible. That means there are methods that allow these abilities to exist and be used in roleplay fighting in a fair and consistent way. However, here's the thing. However, the methods, at least my methods of doing it, will not be posted on YouTube anymore, because, I'll explain in future videos. All future training methods regarding metaphysical and pataphysical will be on a website. Will be on a website called the Roleplay Fighting Handbook. It's a new handbook that I'm making, and anybody wants to help out, they can. You can just go to the website, find the context, email me, or send an email and we can talk about that, or write in the comments that you want to help, and you know, we can go from there. And but I won't be writing any more training methods for YouTube. I still will be uploading videos about fighting on virtual warfare on YouTube, and so I'm not going anywhere. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is probably like the worst video I ever did. You know, it's alright. You know, I'm not gonna say I don't care about the video, but you know, this video was just like, you know, I was kind of rushing, and you know, I was trying to make a video. You know, I kind of feel pressure. You know, we all get pressure sometimes, and but these feature videos will not be as terrible as these. You know, now that I finally told what I wanted to tell about, you know, my future steps, now I can actually take these steps, and you know, people can actually be prepared to the steps I'm going to take, and you know, people can know exactly what to look forward to, or exactly what to see before it actually comes. And you know, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to Virtual Warfare. Thank you for all the comments and feedbacks. You know, I want everybody to stay tuned to these upcoming videos, because these upcoming videos will explain a lot about my views about roleplay fighting, and a lot about the claims that I make about roleplay fighting. This would be a smooth and clear way of explaining exactly what I mean about the claims that I make, and exactly what I mean about, you know, my perception of roleplay fighting. So just stay tuned for those. Stay tuned for more in the future, and I'll see everybody soon. Deuces.